Welcome to episode number 1 of Decision Time, your one-stop for all some MMA news, fight picks, fight recaps, whatever you want to call it. I am one of your hosts, Jacob, and of course I got the lovely Ginger with me, Ben Rosell. He's here for me on my screen, but I don't know where he is for himself.
I'm to your left right now.
So that way, whatever
Yep.
way.
Yeah.
We got, you may have seen him from Instagram, maybe from Twitter, star of the Angel Reese betting line for her to miss her first shot from Stadium Live, of course, the lovely Samir. How we doing today, boys?
So guys, really good after that fight night. It was really entertaining one.
Yeah, and let's just get straight into it. I mean, this was a banger. I saw people kind of being like, "Oh, like this card was kind of mid. It was just a bunch of decisions." We're not gonna get bangers every single time. You know what I mean? Like that's the one thing about MMA fights that kind of gets annoying sometimes.
Also, why are we complaining about decisions? That's just more fighting than, like...
Yeah. I know, we're not always gonna see these big knockouts or cool submissions. Like it's bound to happen. There's gonna be some decisions in a card. But let's recap some of the prelims real quick. I mean, Malcolm Wellmaker, what a story for this guy. I don't know if you guys have seen his Instagram from going from like a pipe welder to now training and winning his first 2 UFC fights by knockout. Like this guy's got hands.
Yeah. And he was fighting the GOAT, Chris Matino, who he's now 0-3 in the UFC. He's now lost 3 fights by knockout or TKO.
Yep, probably gonna get cut again, unfortunately.
I think they just signed him for... They gave him a 10-day contract.
that 10-day, it was kind of sad to see because he was really happy to be back in the UFC, and like I don't know if you guys saw his like pre-fight interviews where he's like, I was going through some hard times and I'm glad the UFC is giving me another chance. So it's kind of sad, but I got to admit I love this kid Wellmaker. I mean the story, he's got quick hands, quick feet, a real technician striker. I like it.
Yeah, he's a good 31-year-old prospect.
Hey, you never know. He could fly up the rankings if he keeps doing what he's doing.
Suga beat Chris Matino, so
that's a title reign. Any other prelims though that you guys saw that you kind of liked? I mean, I kind of missed the first.
I had a fight I didn't like. Paul Craig versus Rodolfo Barado.
Yeah. Fuck! Real question. Was he acting?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think so.
So his reaction was so delayed.
He got kicked in the face and was like falling back, looking at the ref like, "Oh, what happened?" And then went.
And then like randomly woke up.
He like woke up and he's like, "Oh, where am I?"
Like, I don't know. Seems a little fishy because what would even warrant doing that? I just don't understand.
You're also fighting Paul Craig. You can beat him.
Yeah, I low-key, like, I love Paul Craig, but Rodolfo Bellato looked good in his last matchup. I thought he was gonna like easily beat Paul Craig, and then this happens. When I first saw it, I was like, oh shit, like that was clearly a legal up kick. Clearly got knocked out. I'm like, damn, that really sucks because Bellato looked really good, and obviously Paul Craig doesn't want that to happen, and it's kind of shitty for both guys. But again, I think it was kind of some major league Oscar winning performance right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Paul Craig did not win, that's for sure. But also, he didn't lose. So we'll take it.
Loss. It's the yeah. Any other prelims you guys liked or didn't like, or just want to shit talk anybody?
thought the Ochoa Durden fight was pretty good. It ended in a knockout, and I thought it was really good because there was like a momentum shift. Durden was really winning that first round, and then Ochoa in the second round, he just came flying out the gates. And I honestly thought he could have won a bonus for it. Like if you watch the fight, it was really like big momentum shift. The odds, the live odds were changing, almost as bad as the Kamaru Usman one, but we'll talk about that later. Like it was a really good fight in my opinion that should have been on the main card, like the main fight part of the fights, and I'm definitely excited to see him face ranked contenders now, top 20, top 15. He's definitely going to crack it into that ranking, and I'm just really excited to see him.
A flyweight knockout, that's rare.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always nice to see those.
Wait.
Oh.
Also,
all right.
Gotta give a special shout out. First fight of the card, Jamie Lynn Horth. Canadian, got a dub.
Hey, shout out.
Shout out. Anyways, we don't need to talk about Jamie Lynn Horth. Alonzo Menafield.
I can't lie, this fight was boring as hell. For me. I didn't like it. It was just Menafield looked good. He kept the distance. Sai didn't really do anything at all. Like they just kind of kept each other at the distance. Felt like they were just trying to see each other out for the entire fight. I don't know.
Yeah.
Very, very boring opening to the main card, if you ask me. But
yeah.
Not much to it at all.
But then Mansour Abdul Malik versus Cody Brundage. Now that was a banger.
Mm-hmm.
Fight of the night. It was just an amazing first couple rounds. Like they were just both going at it. For me, fight of the night. An unfortunate ending to the fight because it was really end to end, but really good performance by Mansour Abdul Malik, and I'm really excited to see him fight in the future. I mean, really dynamic. His cardio is insane, and he just packs so much strength with his punches. And I think he would have won the fight anyways. Like the clash of heads kind of ruined it for him because whether they clash heads or not, he was absolutely dogging and probably would have got the early stoppage TKO. So it just sucks that now it's kind of tainted, but I think he'll bounce back definitely.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think the clash of the heads, just overall an accident. It didn't really look too on purpose. They just both kind of bumped heads with each other. It happens in a fight. I think it happened in a later fight too on the card, which again, it just happens. Unless it's a clear headbutt, not much we can really do about it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then
moving on,
Cody No Chin Garbrandt loses to Rayoni Barcelos.
Barcelos looks good.
Yeah.
He beats Peyton Talbot, and then he comes in.
Mm-hmm.
He crushes Peyton Talbot's dreams a little bit. I can't lie, because Peyton Talbot was this up and coming contender, looked really good, and then literally just bullied him into constant takedowns. And he did a good job in this fight. I found he stood and banged with Garbrandt when he needed to, and then went for takedowns. He really strategically, I think he looked really good. I mean, Garbrandt got some good punches in. I mean, me and Samir were kind of talking about this before. We think he probably won the first round, but then Barcelos just kind of took over,
Mm-hmm.
It kind of shows how disappointing kind of the state of fighters like Cody. They're just really outdated, and you see it every time they fight. As they go on fight nights and on main cards, it's you just see their first round or nothing. And if they don't get that finish in the first round, you kind of know the script of the fight. All you have to do is keep them on the ground, wear them out, and then there's not even anything in their punches to knock you out. And then they're just there. Really, a wave of these fighters have happened We'll talk about Buckley later, but that's also kind of hinting at fighters like that. Really just explosive, dynamic, fast starting fighters really fading out the game right now. And I think that's like a talking point from this Cody Garbrandt fight that I took most. Not just his loss, because it's just for not to shit on him, but he's another loss. It's like the typical thing. He starts off good, starts being all aggressive and cocky, and then gets humbled after. And just happened again. I don't know what he's doing with that face tat. Go get it like surgically. Like, I don't know, man. Like, he thought he had aura, and then he just went out like a candle. Like, it was embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember the last time I was truly impressed by a Cody Garbrandt fight. Like, at least 2-3 years.
Yeah, I think, and what sucks about Cody, I mean, he's still relatively kind of young too. Like, yeah, I think he's only what, like 32 or something like that. Like, is he?
Is he?
I believe he's only like. Real quick fact check here. I'm just gonna Google this on my phone.
I was like,
I'm pretty sure he's relatively young.
I was like, he was a champ like almost a decade ago. So. I would think that he's a bit older than 32, but I don't know.
He's 34. He's 34.
Interesting.
So I mean, I was kind of pushing for him to have a little bit of like a comeback and maybe eventually get back into the rankings and be kind of like a what's it called, like a guard of the rankings.
Gatekeeper.
Yeah. That's the word I was looking for.
That year he took off really like messed up his game, I think, because he was fighting pretty well before it. Maybe not great, but just ruined any momentum he had.
Yeah, and I'd love to see Marcelos keep going. I mean, I don't think he deserves necessarily a ranked opponent yet, but
really,
I mean,
he's on a 3-fight win streak. Like, I think I
think he maybe gets one more. Like, he gets one more, like 16 to 18 kind of guy, and then after that, obviously deserves like a ranked guy. But even like a I can't think of any names right now, but I'd love to see him fight a guy like in that range.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, I mean, even like a 15-14. Mm-hmm. I don't know the current bantamweight rankings, but like somewhere in that range. You know what I mean? I'd love to see something like that. Next fight, I mean, I thought this one was a banger too. Edmund Shabazian, versus Andre Petroski. I thought this one was really good. I mean, Petrosian looked really technical and kind of knew what he had to do because Petroski is a really good like grappler, wrestler, and Shabazian really showed that he could like keep the distance, keep him away from him, and strike when he needed to, because we all know Shabazian's got that knockout power, right? So he didn't really go for major swings. Kind of like, I was a little worried it was going to be kind of like a Joe Pyfer, where he just keeps throwing like that one big punch and hoping it lands to knock him out clean. But he really looked good technically. I found he used his kicks well, kept them at the range, and even when Petroski went for takedowns, he did a really good job. I think the average time to escape a takedown, I think they showed it in round 3, was like 3 seconds or something like crazy like that. Like, he did a really good job. I really liked this fight.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was just a very entertaining decision. Like, there wasn't anything super insane about the fight. It was just like technical, fun, good. But I'm sure the fans probably were like booing or some shit. But
I hate the booing. I can't stand that. We were watching, what fight were we watching recently, Ben? I think it was on the Merab Sean card. Let me just try and regain my memory here. Events past. I can't remember what fight it was, but it was a good one.
You're talking about something that was like getting booed?
Was it the Apache mix fight? I think it was Apache versus Batista.
Yeah, but to be fair, that's not a really bad fight to boo. I mean, he was not moving his head.
Yeah.
Standing still.
Yeah, but I mean, Batista looked really good though. I mean,
That's the thing that's
Yeah,
kind of
for some
annoying.
reason, people don't really like him. For some reason.
he did fence hold Jose Aldo, one of the fan favorite goats, right? So that kind of unfortunate. And then Jose Aldo got retired by Alan Zahabi. Sorry, I just like shouting that out every time I can.
You guys know my thoughts on Mario Batista.
We heard them in the practice episode last.
Yeah, no, I'm not huge on him personally, but hey, if he gets a win's a win. You know what I mean? So no, that's the thing I kind of think is a bit annoying with the UFC fans currently, is that if there's not either knockouts or like active insane brawling, they're gonna start booing. If it's grappling, if it's technical striking, you're gonna start hearing booing, just because, oh, they're not dying right now. What's happening? You know, it's mixed.
Yeah.
The MMA fans are mad when the martial arts get mixed.
Yeah, it's really frustrating to watch as a fan who just wants to watch a fight. You know what I mean? Like we all, I feel like, just watch the fights to see a fight happen.
Mhm.
And I don't like, obviously a knockout's fun. Yes, would I love to see a Gaethje Holloway end of round banger at the end of each fight? Yeah, but guys want to protect themselves. Guys aren't gonna want to stand and bang for 5 minutes and hope that they survive. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it gets very frustrating, especially because like if I was there, I'm not booing a second. I'm just enjoying a great match between X and Y. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter who it is. I mean, obviously there's like Bilal Muhammad, but like we're not. You know what I mean? Like, obviously there's guys like I'm not a huge fan of the guys that are wrestlers who just literally sit on top of you and that's it. You're losing. But
Yeah.
when they grapple and all that stuff, enjoy the fight. Just enjoy it. You're
No,
there.
but I will say, speaking of boo worthy fights and like all time bad performances, not this specific fight, but Rose Namajunas got a win over Miranda Maverick. She put in one of the worst fights of all time. That's all I'm going to say. But she had a pretty good fight today against Miranda Maverick, or yesterday against Miranda Maverick, and Thug Rose got the dub. She's back, kind of.
Yep. Yeah, she looked good. I mean, the shaved head looked really good. But no, she looked, honestly, in this one, it was a good fight. I really liked it. Definitely better than some of her previous performances.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, this was a really enjoyable one. I mean, women's flyweight looks exciting. So any fight we get in it is always fun. And it was a great co-main for a fight night, honestly. Like, it kind of wrapped up the whole card. Yes, they were all decisions. What can you do? It happens. But again, this one was a really good one too. I'd like to see her fight maybe one more top contender and then possibly challenge for the belt again.
Yeah, Alexa Grasso would be a good matchup, in my opinion.
I think that would be a banger. That'd be a fun one to
That's
see.
a main. That's like a co-main worthy fight.
Yeah, co-main of another fight night, or possibly a main event. Even if it's not like a co-main of a main event, I could see it being like the third fight on a main card.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Like, I'd watch.
Yeah. Yep. And then we had the main event. I don't know who you guys picked. I had Buckley winning this one. I thought those knees were gonna cripple, but I mean, Usman looked good. Usman looked as good as he has in previous matchups. So
I do think I'm not entirely surprised by how good Usman was, considering, for example, his last matchup against Khamzat Chimaev, where he, took him to a 29-28 decision. So he made Khamzat look relatively beatable, who almost nobody else has. But also at the same time, I believe his last fight was late 2023, so he's been out for quite a while. So I thought that Buckley would, take advantage of the ring rust and all that, but I'm not entirely surprised that the second greatest welterweight of all time is good,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was also people are forgetting it's like kind of an ideal matchup for him. I mean, you could just see it. He did not train for the ground and pound. Like, I don't know what he was doing in his fight camp, but he just let those punches land. Like, it's actually insane. He was just sitting down there and taking it. And it's like he almost didn't practice against the man that he was set up to fight. Like, it looked like he was fighting a different fight than the one that was at hand. Like, I don't know if he thought he'd dominate him like he did against Colby, but that's because Colby's kind of a pussy and he just doesn't want to fight. Kamaru was there and he showed that he had the grit. I thought his again ground and pound game was insane. His takedowns back to what he was. I mean, his takedowns were never bad. It's just he never in his previous fights had the opportunity to do them. So that's why it's really confusing to me why Buckley just allowed those situations to happen. And it's like he didn't try to keep the fight at the middle of the cage. He was just kind of like dancing and bouting with Usman, trying to trade punches. And when they did do it, like, he did land a few. Like, that's something that I want to say about Kamaru that didn't look good is a stand-up game. Again, it's like he needs to improve. Like, I know all the talk is about his knees and his durability, but his stand-up game is not it in the last couple of fights.
Mm-hmm. He does kind of rely on just the stand-up and he just swings and then, oh, you're hurt a little bit. Let me just, take you. Let me clinch you.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't, he looks good, don't get me wrong. I mean, this was a kind of a domination from Usman. Buckley didn't really look like he could hang with a top welterweight like that. Obviously, Buckley's still young, got more time to fight a couple more contenders, and maybe in a couple of years to contend for a title. But I think people are getting a little too high on the horse of Kamaru Usman again. Like, obviously, still one of the greatest welterweights of all time. Still looked really good, but he was saying that he wants a title shot again, and it's like, I don't think he beats, maybe Bilal, but he's definitely not beating Sean Brady, definitely not beating Shavkat, and definitely not beating JDM right now. I don't see it. JD, these guys just looked, all those guys kind of looked, even Ian Gary. I mean, I could see that being a close matchup. Maybe Kamaru edges that one out in a close decision. That's obviously a decision fight. It's Ian Gary versus Usman, but yeah, I think people are getting a little too hyped. Like, oh, Kamaru's so back. I'm already seeing all these edits and stuff like that. Like, don't get me wrong, he's still really really good. I mean, he'd kick my ass any day of the week, but I don't think he's gonna contend for another title. I don't think he deserves a title shot. Again, I mean, he's still fourth. Like, does he deserve one of those top guys? Yeah, probably. Like, he could definitely fight one of those guys in a couple months or a year or whatever. But I don't think he beats any of those top contenders. In my opinion, I don't know. I think he still looked a little slow, a little groggy. Obviously, he dominated this fight. I'm not taking away from his amazing performance, but I think there's definitely some flaws in his game, especially at this age, that those other guys, like I said, JDM, Bilal, Sean Brady, those guys take advantage of stuff like that, right? So
That could also just be because of his, inactivity. Maybe in his next fight, if he doesn't take another year off or whatever, maybe he'll look a bit better, but who knows? Yeah. I was also wondering, who do you guys think, now the main event is done, let's do some matchmaking. Who do we think the winner and the loser of that match will be fighting next?
For me, let me pull up the rankings real quick. I gotta make sure I know.
I mean, I know who Buckley's fighting.
Yeah.
Kevin Holland. It's just written in stars.
Yeah,
I think
I could definitely see
I
that.
think they should fight, and Usman just give him Bilal.
Yeah. Do you
I mean,
think that?
I'm not watching that, but like, give him Bilal. Let the fight happen because I think that's the best fight to happen. I mean, like Bilal, I know he's high ranking. It's only because of the fact he just lost the belt. He's a number 3, number 4 guy.
Mhm.
Like, if we're being honest, he's just a number 3, number 4 guy, and that's what Kamaru Usman needs to fight after beating like a high contender, like
Do
a
you?
guy that was on the up, off bouncing off of really good fights.
I was gonna ask. Do you think that Joaquin Buckley would take Kevin Holland, who's like way lower than he is?
I I think it would be like a good fight because he shouldn't. He's coming off a loss. He needs to just get his confidence back up and train properly. I think if he goes, I think he needs to play safe because if he loses another fight, he's just gonna go down in the rankings and he's gonna be like a top 10, top 15 forever. He's just gonna be there.
I don't mean to interrupt you, Samir, but an easy fight. What's the diss to Kevin Holland here? I love Kevin Holland. I like that. I like that matchup. But I already have Kevin Holland in mind to fight Colby Covington. I think that in my head is a perfect matchup for Kevin Holland. Just because I mean he called him out. I think it would be a hilarious press conference and overall hilarious fight because I think Kevin would literally call Colby a pussy the entire fight, which absolute cinema. I think for me, I think Camaro versus like because he just fought and this guy just got injured and possibly might not come back till the end of the year. I think Camaro versus Shavkat. I think that would be a good fight because I kind of want to see Bilal fight someone else. I don't know who yet, but I think the Camaro Bilal fight. I think that personally for me, like you said, Samir, you wouldn't watch that fight. I'm not gonna watch that fight because it's just gonna be a wrestle but I think Kamaru, he's the old. Take till the end of the year off, and then fight Shavkat when Shavkat gets healthy, and that's low key a title eliminator or like top contender fight. And then for me, I like Joaquin versus a guy like Gilbert Burns. I was gonna say Michael Morales, but I don't like that because they're both top contenders, and I don't want to see either of them kind of lose. I want to see Joaquin get an easy win, kind of like what you said, Samir, with Kevin Holland. But I don't know what the diss to Kevin Holland is. Um, but I think that like Gilbert Burns, I think like from what I'm looking at it right now, is ranked 10th. So he's kind of on his way out of the rankings. I think Joaquin at 7 maybe moves down to maybe after that one. They haven't updated the rankings yet. Maybe he moves down to 8, and then Michael Morales goes to 7. And then it's an 8-10 matchup. Could be like a third on a main event. I think Joaquin gets that done easily and gets a little bit of a confidence boost back. But for me, that's what I would do. If I was Dana, that's my matchmaking. What about you, Ben?
I somewhat agree with one of you. I personally have Kamaru Usman fighting Bilal Muhammad next because I personally think that if Usman and Bilal fought, it would be a little bit different, but kind of similar to the fights that Usman's had against Covington, in that they're both like very. I mean, Muhammad's a bit different of a wrestler than Covington, but they're both very good wrestlers, and I feel like that would almost cancel each other out, and they would just have like a striking match. And I mean, Bilal's got all right hands. Sometimes he gets a good little
Canelo
punch.
hands.
Yeah, I mean, he knocked Sean Brady out. So, but Usman, he's got hands. So I think that would actually be a pretty entertaining matchup, personally. And then, secondly, I think Joaquin Buckley. I just think because he's on a loss, he'll be dropped by like a spot or two. I think he's going to be booked against someone who's coming off a win. I think he's going to fight who he was supposed to fight in his previous fight. I think he's just going to fight Ian Machado Gary in his next matchup because they were already booked to fight. And then, the whole thing where Ian had to fight someone else and Joaquin fought Colby. So they were already booked to fight before, and they were talking a whole lot of shit. So I think Ian Gary now, he's saying, oh, I deserve a title shot now. I think if he can get one more win against someone who he may seem as less than him because, oh, I'm higher ranked than him, I'm so much better. I think, I think he's going to take a fight against Joaquin coming off a loss. And I think that might be a banger of a match because it's either, Joaquin might fold him, which would be very unfortunate, but I think I think that'll be an entertaining matchup. Already was booked before, so I think that's the matchup to make.
You think it should be a matchup that both of them take though, because this is kind of like do or die fight for both of them. Like it's against a really good ranked opponent. If you lose, that's another really big fight that you've lost that should see it's basically deciding if you're at that level or above.
Mm-hmm.
And Ian Gary coming off that loss, I mean, I know it was a really good performance, but in his last really big fight, and it's just kind of showing like this is what dictates their stocks, because Buckley kind of like both of them are kind of on fraud watch, kind of even though they didn't have bad performances, it's just the hype that they had around them. Like a fight like this would just kind of change their whole trajectory, and I don't think they'd be willing to risk that just as their stocks are rising.
I think that's a fair question. I think Joaquin would be more likely to take it because Ian is so, in his own mind, he's like, oh, I'm going to fight for the title next. So I think that maybe he wouldn't take that. But I think Joaquin now, like coming off a loss, looking at Ian Gary, who, really maybe he should have gotten finished by Carlos Prates. So he's like, oh, that's a winnable fight potentially. So I think Buckley would take that matchup, but I don't know if Ian would. Like maybe Ian would fight lower down, like I guess not MVP because he's in middleweight now, but like someone lower like that. But I think at least for Buckley, that would be a good matchup because, Ian's a very good name, but that also kind of looks beatable.
I also can we just talk about how like delusional Ian Gary is for a sec? Like, my good, like you do not deserve a title shot. You lost to the number 3 ranked guy Shavkat, who deserves the title shot more than you, and you almost lost to Carlos Prates, who I'm looking at the rankings right now is ranked 13th. Like that literally it should have been a finish for Carlos Prates. He just smoked too many fucking cigarettes before the match and got gassed out. I genuinely think like that Ian Gary looked bad. Not bad in that fight. Like obviously he won enough rounds to put him over the edge, but like he should have lost that fight. Carlos should have, like, I think anyone else in that situation gets the finish. I think even Carlos 9 times out of 10 gets the finish. He just got unlucky, looked a little tired, and just couldn't finish the punches. But you don't deserve a title shot after that. You barely beat a contender who's not in the top 10. Like, I don't know.
While
I know there's all this hype behind Carlos Prates, but
while I do agree that he did look a little gassed, I do think that it was a bit partially also that Carlos Prates didn't want to, jump on Ian Gary like that because Ian Gary does have pretty solid grappling. So maybe he was worried that Ian Gary was going to try and submit him or something. So he wanted it to stand up, but Ian was just sitting there like, come on, lad, come on. So I do think that it was a bit of hesitancy because he's, better at grappling than I am, more experienced and all that. But also he did look a bit gassed. And
no, go ahead. Finish what you were
I was just going to say, no, Ian Gary absolutely is just, he's basically just Conor McGregor, levels of delusion. He's just the same person, maybe barring a few things, but he's pretty much the same person.
Yeah. Yeah, and, like, we're kind of, like, I love the fact that Islam wants 2 belts, but, like, the fact that he's moving up is kind of messing up this, like, not messing up this whole division, but, like, kind of is. Like, I kind of want to see these other guys fight for fight for welterweight before I see Islam most likely beat JDM. Like, I don't know how that fight's gonna go, to be honest. Like, JDM is versus Islam. people are like complaining that it's not going to be Islam Ilya. Like obviously that's a banger of a matchup between two top guys in the whole UFC. But JDM versus Islam is gonna be a banger. Like that's a fight that I'm super excited to watch. But there's so many top welterweights that I kind of want to see fight for the title like now, and the fact that they're gonna have to wait because Islam is automatically. I mean, it's basically been confirmed that he's getting this title shot next. Because I would love to see Sean Brady fight for the title. I don't know about you guys. I really like Sean Brady. I mean, it was kind of unfortunate with the Bilal fight, but I like Sean Brady. I like his yats.
The problem with welterweight is just that there's so many guys that all kind of in their own way deserve a title shot. Like, I mean, Bilal just lost the title. Shavkat has beaten everybody.
Yep.
You know, like even lesser guys like Ian Gary, who he was undefeated outside of Shavkat, who's injured for a while, or Sean Brady just beat the former champion Leon Edwards. Like, there's just so many. Like, there's like 5 guys who all kind of deserve a title shot, but also at the same time,
a case for it.
yeah, but also at the same time, I don't know if they're going to want to fight each other, because that means it's either I win and I automatically get a title shot, or I lose and I'm cooked. You know, I'm like 5th now. So
Yeah,
it's just kind
even
of
a
like
lot of these guys where, even a lot of them where it's like even if they win, do they deserve the title shot? Like there's like you said, there's just so many guys that like could make a strong case, and they do make strong cases for their title shot. Like welterweight right now is a lot. I love the fact that it's just like all the top like 8 guys just like chirp each other constantly on Twitter or in person, blah, blah, blah. And the champ's just JDM, who's the most like
just chilling.
I'm not gonna beef anybody kind of guy. Like he's just like.
Well, for example, like Shavkat, he beat, you know, undefeated Ian Gary in a fight, and he looked like a lock for the number 1 contender. But then he also got hurt, and now he kind of looks like he's like the number 3 behind Brady and Bilal. I mean, even 4 if you include Islam. So like he went from 1 all the way down just from getting hurt.
Which is really unfortunate. I was really excited to see my Kazakhstanian king get a title shot. I mean, we've seen the Shavkat highlights. I mean, this guy's really really good, tall, lengthy, kind of got that like almost like Izzy kind of like build, like very tall and technical, but has that I find has a little bit more of that KO power and like finish ability that Izzy didn't necessarily always have. But I mean, again, this welterweight division stacked. It's kind of hard to make these matchups because we don't know where everyone's at health wise when they want to fight, all that stuff, right? So, but anything else we got to say about the welterweight division? Smear, you looked very entertained down there.
No, I just think personally, like, Shavkat is a really good fighter, but I'm not trying to see a matchup with him. I'm still convinced, like, the Bilal Muhammad fight should happen. That should be the next fight for Maru. And I was just going back to the initial talks like that.
Yeah.
Like that fight is really interesting to me, and I really want to see it happen. And with that division as a whole, like, I personally think that Islam should be going for that fight because basically he doesn't have any good opponent. Like, there's nobody that can make a case to beat him that he doesn't choose to fight. Like, I can't think of anyone that could really go up to him and show that he could fight. Like, really, because he kind of obliterated everyone that he fought before, and it wasn't even close.
Mm-hmm.
And him going for the double champ, it kind of makes him have to be more active. Or sorry, like, the double division champ is like, it has to make him more active, and I'm just really excited for that prospect, and it's a really good matchup. I think it's going to be his strongest opponent.
Do you think it should be Kamaru, Bilal, and then Brady Shavkat?
Yeah.
Interesting. I like that. I do like that. I think
Leon
honestly,
Edwards versus
Brady,
Gary.
Loki,
Cinema.
Loki.
Cinema.
That's a good matchup. Um, that Sean Brady versus Shavkat's definitely an interesting one, just because Shavkat is so tall and lengthy, and Sean Brady's very like not short. I mean, he's a welterweight, but he's kind of like more like compact. So it would be definitely interesting to see how they work on the ground against each other. Like I think Shavkat would kind of like almost entice Sean Brady to take the takedown because he's really good on the ground and really good at submissions. But it'd be interesting to see how Sean Brady deals with those long limbs. That'd be a good matchup. It'd be a good one. All right, real quick, we're gonna throw to an interview with unified commentator John Ramdeen, a real pioneer in Canadian MMA that Ben and I did a couple days ago. Unfortunately, Samir couldn't show up. It's okay, we still did it. So me and Ben did it, and we're just gonna throw that real quick. All right, welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. That was good. John, thank you so much again for being on the podcast. We really appreciated talking to you and hearing all you had to say about Canadian MMA, guys you like to see coming up, even guys in the UFC that are we're seeing our country kind of come back a bit after being kind of on the low since GSP and Rory unfortunately retired. But we're seeing the come up. Mike Malott, Jasmine, these guy and girl, both look like real contenders in their respective divisions. So
And
exciting.
Big shout out to formerly the Manther, now Big Game Hunter Lee. Shout out! I've seen him perform live. That guy's an absolute monster. I love he wears his little Panther shorts. Love it, and
Fire.
he's an absolute monster. Just got a knockout like what 2 weeks ago. Demon.
And his fight, another fight of his just got announced.
Yeah.
So check that out. Get tickets. I mean, this kid is definitely see him now before he goes to the UFC, and tickets are ridiculous. Kid looks dangerous at heavyweight or light heavy. He's kind of looks
he's a
like he's still
middleweight.
deciding what. Oh yeah, sorry, light heavyweight or middleweight. My fault. No, he's definitely not a heavyweight. But definitely an exciting prospect in the Canadian MMA scene, and there's lots of guys coming up, so it'll be interesting to see how we continue to grow as a country, and even a province from Ontario's perspective too. So yeah, next let's move on to our upcoming card, the June 22nd, which hey, we are gonna be together to watch that, which is gonna be kind of fun. We have yet to watch a card together. So I'm excited to kind of we'll bring something to the beach to watch it on. I'll bring maybe a tablet or something like that because it is in Azerbaijan, which some information about that as well coming up. But it does look very interesting. It does look like a great card. Definitely not. I don't know about you guys. It doesn't look as good as the one that just happened, but there definitely is some guys that I am excited to see fight. I'll let you guys go first. Any guys any prospects you're seeing on this card that you're like, hold on now, I'm really excited to see, or any shit talk.
I don't know if I would consider him a prospect because he is a bit. I think he's older. I mean, he looks older. Let me see. Oh, he's 36 years old. Holy moly. Muhammad Usman. His big ass is fighting on this card. First fight, actually. He's fighting some dude. Hamdi Abdel Wahab. Shout out.
He's an underdog.
I've got not much to say. Muhammad Usman, he's just Kamru's brother, and he's like a monstrosity among men. So I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited for the Fiziev and Bahamondes fight. That's a fight that I'm excited for. Also, Curtis Blades is back. That's always something to look out for. And
you know that heavyweight division's bad when the number 5 ranked guys fighting an unranked heavyweight.
Yeah.
And also, he could win his match and still not get a title shot.
No, because our favorite John Jones is still sitting on that undisputed title shot.
I don't know who you are talking about. We don't mess with him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the main event. It's gonna be a banger. There is some guys that like. I mean, this guy Bogdan Grad looks kind of cool. I mean, the Austrian, he looks kind of cool. Not many guys I personally am a big knowledgeable on for this card. But there is. I mean, it's a UFC fight night. Like
Are
we
you
said,
saying? Are you saying you're not a fan of Miktabik Orolbai, Jacob Cullen? Are you not a fan of Miktabik Orolbai?
I never said that. I didn't. I honestly scrolled past him without realizing that he's on this card. That's who I'm excited for.
He was in
I love Orolbai.
He was in an insane matchup.
How long are you doing a podcast?
He was in a crazy matchup. The caveman versus Neanderthal.
I was trying to stop. I gotta call him out, bad guys.
No, I love. How do you pronounce? Is it Orolbai?
Yeah. Miktabik Orolbai.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I totally forgot he was fighting. I literally the first TikTok, Instagram reel I saw this morning was "Wake up! It's a Miktabik Orolbai."
Oh, I love him.
I'm obviously amped for this guy to fight again. I mean, he didn't look great in his last matchup. He did lose, but hey, he's 2-1 in his last 3. That's a winning record.
You know what's crazy? He's from the same country. Yeah. Like that's what men in his country look like. He's from the same country as Valentina Shevchenko. They do not. What the? How did that? The Kyrgyzstan difference.
Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of fans.
Yes.
My
he's from one of the stands.
Yeah, one of them.
Hey, Stan, I'm driving down the highway.
But we do have some news. I mean, I don't know. I did text you guys earlier. I don't know if you got a lot of information about this. I don't know whether this is confirmed, whether I haven't really seen much from Jamal Hill's side, but there is rumors from multiple sources that Jamal Hill is just straight out refusing to, sorry, I just had deja vu. That was really weird. Refusing to fly to Baku. To refusing to go to Azerbaijan. I want to hear your guys' kind of thoughts on this because, I kind of see where he's coming from with everything going on in the world, especially near Azerbaijan. But also, it's a different country. I can also see the perspective of, bro, just go. You promised to fight.
Yeah, I have a thought on that. The American education system sucks because Baku is nowhere near Iran or Israel. It's hundreds of miles away from even being in the area. Sure, Iran is, bordering Azerbaijan, sure. But Baku's in the top half of the country. It's all the way so far away. And you're going, oh, there's problems. Yeah, fucking 1,000 miles away. You don't need to worry about that. But I think he's a bit dumb. But also, he's an American MMA fighter. Yeah, I'm not expecting much more out of him.
Just Jamal Hill being Jamal Hill. I would have said any other fighter saying that, I might give them the benefit of the doubt. But it just seems like another one of Jamal Hill. He already has a built-in excuse, so he can have another fight. He hasn't even fought the fight yet, and he already has his reason to talk about it on a podcast of why he lost or why he couldn't do it. And he's gonna talk more shit. I mean, ever since he did that call out to Alex Pereira and then went to the gym and didn't fight him, I've just known he just really just talks to get fights because that's all he can do. Because in his last couple of fights, he hasn't been that impressive.
Yeah, and I think he's low key scared of Khalil Roundtree. Like Khalil Roundtree, other than I guess like Magomed, was the first guy we kind of saw. I mean, I guess Izzy knocked him out, but like make Alex Pereira look a little hesitant. You know what I mean? Like that fight against Pereira was a banger. And Pereira looked like in some areas and some moments in that fight, he looked very hesitant to strike with Khalil Roundtree, which I think even in the Izzy fight where he got knocked out, like he was never hesitant to get in an exchange. Where Khalil like hit him, like actually clocked him a couple times. And then when Jamal Hill fought Pereira, we all saw how that went. Yeah, Jamal.
Shama.
So I think I think Jamal is a little nervous too, and like Samir said, like Art now has a built-in excuse to talk about if and most likely when he loses this matchup. Um, he has something to talk about and be like, oh, I didn't really want to fight there. I was kind of nervous. That's why, I was nervous about the war. That's why I was lost at my fight. That's why I looked off my game. No, Jamal, like you're older now. You don't look as good as you did when you were the champion. You're kind of falling off. I mean, obviously he's still great. Jamal was a great fighter. He just hasn't looked the same since the injury, which really unfortunate. But what can you do? MMA is an unforgiving sport. We've all seen our favorite fighter get beat. So unless you're a fan of Ilia Topuria, which if you are, fuck you.
I saw my favorite fighter at the time. I saw his ankle collapse inwards, and he hasn't fought since. So,
Yeah.
But who would have thought Jamal Hill's he lost because he's too involved in world politics. Ugh, humanitarian Jamal Hill.
Yeah, it's not a good look for him. I don't know, man. It's not a good look. I mean, if this is true, again, we don't know if this is true. Due to we haven't seen him tweet about it or
have his podcast.
His coach say anything. Yeah, like we haven't. This isn't confirmed. I just saw an Instagram post people talking about it on Reddit. Sent it to you guys, and here we are yapping about it. As three professionals in the MMA industry, obviously. But let's talk about who we think's gonna win this. I mean, I got Khalil. I don't know about you guys. I think Khalil. It's either gonna be a decision win or a knockout. Obviously, this is going to be a ground game. Maybe Jamal goes for some takedowns to kind of slow Khalil up a little bit. But Khalil's looked great in his last couple matchups where Jamal hasn't looked like anything like his former self. So I think this is a clear win for Khalil. But we've seen crazier things. I mean, Jamal is, like I said, former champion, former great light heavyweight, like an all-time, right? But hasn't looked the same.
I would just, if I was Jamal Hill, watch out for the knockout power, because that is how he's been getting got, is by getting clipped, and Khalil Roundtree definitely can clip you, and he's just really explosive. I think if Hill just takes the Kamaru Usman route and just fires him out, doesn't even have to really do a lot of damage, significant strikes, just really gets that control time, just really played out his way, it'll be an easy win for him. So as long as he does that, but saying that again, it is Jamal Hill. So I'm taking Khalil Roundtree. Maybe third, fourth round TKO or knockout. I think Hill's just gonna get sloppy as the fight goes on.
I agree with Samir. I do think it'll be a mid to late round finish from Khalil Roundtree. I'll put it this way. Jamal Hill, who is known for his boxing and all that, couldn't knock out the guy who has like the worst striking defense I've ever seen, Jair Prohaska, who stands like this, and you couldn't knock him out? Yeah, you're cooked. You're cooked. So I think Khalil Roundtree is gonna, I mean, he is a smaller dude comparatively to like most light heavyweights, even Jamal. He almost destroyed the biggest of them all with Alex. So yeah, I think it's going to be Khalil Roundtree pretty solidly.
Yeah, I think Khalil's technical ability, like his ability to mix up strikes and kind of throw those body shots, throw those leg kicks, and his defense is really good. I don't see how Khalil overall loses this fight. Um, but again, I mean, this is another great fight night. I don't the main card and the prelims don't look. Obviously, it's. I'm gonna probably watch most of them, but it's definitely not as good as this one, and not as good as the one that's happening at the end of the month. But we'll get to that eventually.
We'll get to that next
break
week.
down. Yeah, we'll get to that next week. The June 28th card is coming. Shout out my birthday. Sorry, I just had to say it. Now I'm gonna drop. We're gonna talk about some news in the MMA game. Some things I've recently saved to bring up to you guys, and let's just run through these. What do we think about the whole featherweight situation right now? Because we've seen the things. I don't know if you guys have seen. I know I've seen
Oh.
it. Do we think Yair deserves the title shot against Volk? Do we think it's going to be Yair versus Diego Lopez in Mexico City, and then Evelev should get the title shot? I mean, I have my opinion about it. I think it should be Evelev and then Yair versus Diego Lopez for a top contender spot, because Yair's hasn't done much in the past couple fights. But I want to hear your guys' bit of opinion on this whole featherweight situation and what it means for the featherweight belt. Like, does it keep its importance if it's Yair? Does it stay the same if it's Yair or Evelev? Like, I just want to hear what you guys have to say about that.
I personally believe that it should be Yair versus Diego Lopez because, first of all, they're in a similar, range. Like, Diego just lost the title. Yair just beat, grandpa, Patrick E. Pitbull. So, they're in the same, realm of level or ranking. And I do not think that if Yair Rodriguez is able to get a title shot off of beating Pitbull, who hasn't been good for 3 years, I don't understand that. And also, I don't know what has happened to Movsar Evloev. He's just been he's just disappeared for I don't even know how long. So I think it should be Evloev versus Volkanovski and Lopez versus. And also, those guys were beefing. There's the whole thing at the press conference where, apparently their teammates fought each other, and they were chatting a lot of shit in Spanish. It was just going crazy. So I don't see why that isn't the immediate matchup to make for UFC Noche, which is probably just going to have some random American headlining the card when you could have Diego Lopez and Yair Rodriguez. That, it seems like such a no-brainer to me. But yep. Dana White,
yep.
I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I think the situation really sucks with what's happening, and I haven't seen a division affected like this with a move up in a while. Personally, with Yair Rodriguez, what is he even ranked? 6?
He's 5, I think.
Yeah. So I don't really understand it. It's kind of really optimistic. I don't think that should be the person fighting at all, really.
I'm sorry, real quick. These featherweight rankings are so whack on the UFC's
Isn't Brian Ortega still 2 or something?
So it's Volk, then it's Max Holloway at 1.
Yeah.
Then Diego, and then Ilya at 3, which makes no sense. He's moved up now. Get him off the featherweight rankings. And then Evelev and Yair are 4.
Where's Brian Ortega?
He's 7. And then 6 is Arnold Allen, which makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
Arnold Allen goated.
So
it's just. Sorry, go ahead, Samir.
And the division has just changed a lot. I hope Ilya gets what he wanted, because it's kind of left Dana like a mess for himself, because it's just really unbalanced right now. Like it went from being we're setting up a contender to fight Ilya, who's gonna defeat him, and now we're back to an old fighter, kind of on the back burner. Like, but he's still better than most people. And it's like there's not really any good matchups for him. That's why Yair is being touted, because it's like most of the other fighters in the top rankings have either never beat him or just would never beat him. So it kind of sucks because the division's all changed up now. And I think we're going to go through a cycle of fights of just seeing the same two, three, four fighters fight each other until someone actually comes in as a good prospect. So it kind of sucks.
What do you think about
Yeah,
Mofsar then?
I'm not too convinced, to be honest. Like, I watched his last fight. Wasn't really for me. We need someone to come in and hit the ground running, and I don't think that type of fighter is gonna do anything against Volk, to be honest. And Volk, I think he should retire after like next two. Like, if he fights two more, I think after the second one he should retire, because what's the point right now? You know, we're gonna really approach kind of like maybe like a Pantoja level. At least that's my opinion. I generally can see it being like a Pantoja division where it's like who's beating Volk. Like for the foreseeable, like for the near future, I don't see anyone beating him. Like right now in the top 10, like Max on an off day, but then Max is too busy doing these prop fights, so I don't even think he'll be fighting him. So it kind of sucks. Like the whole look of the division has changed after one fighter leaving.
Do you think that that young fighter might be like a John Silva or someone in even more years to come?
Like personally, give Diego Lopez like a year and a half, maybe two. Uh, I'd want to see him, because that's a guy that can change. Like I can see him being a superstar. Like he is a
Mhm.
potential UFC superstar in the making. I think he should get the Sean O'Malley treatment, basically, where he's just protected by Dana, because that is a really big star. Like in my eyes, I already see him. Like the haircut, the face, the fight style. I mean, it just speaks to me. I need to see him in the title fight. I need him to get a rematch, but obviously he needs to get experience up.
yeah. I just think like if it goes to Yair, like if Yair gets the title shot, I think it just really like takes away kind of from not only like Volk's legacy, but even like the whole they like the featherweight division. Like it's a guy that doesn't deserve the title shot.
Yeah, the credibility would go down.
Yeah, and it honestly like Samir kind of said, like Ilya leaving the division kind of has messed everything up. I think Ilya should have stayed for a couple more fights and kind of proved like I am one of the featherweight goats. Like I'm up there with Volk and all those guys, right? So I think it's kind of unfortunate. I do see why Ilya moved up. Like I knocked out Volk, I knocked out Holloway. These were the featherweight goats. I don't need to prove anymore. But also, I would have honestly, I don't know, like I would have loved to see Ilya or versus Diego Lopez, or Ilya versus Evelev, and Ilya versus eventually John Silva. Like I think that would have been a really interesting division had he stayed. But like you said, Samir, like Volk now it's kind of like protected by this old fighter. Like no diss to Volk, as Ben knows, I'm a very avid Volkanovski fan and was rooting for him in that fight. But now I kind of see your point of view, Ben. When we watched that fight together, like you were a big Diego Lopez guy because he, like Samir kind of said, like he is that superstar. Like
In
if
the
he had the
making.
belt right now, like yeah, if he had the belt, like if he had won that Volk fight, like he's like featherweight is open. And then you make it's a no brainer. It's Diego Lopez, Yair Rodriguez for that belt at Noche. Like that's a great matchup. But now we're kind of stuck in this like low key Volk should almost retire now. I don't I don't agree with you, Samir, in the fact that Volk is gonna stay with champ for long. I honestly could see him losing his next bout and retiring then. Because if he fights Evelev, I don't see him winning. If he fights Yair, but anyone else, like I don't. He didn't look amazing against Diego. Like yeah, he had his moments, but and obviously won the fight to decision. But I think that fight could have gone either way. I think Ben and I don't know about you, Samir, but we both kind of had like a couple rounds going either way. Like it was a close matchup. I think Diego should have got the immediate rematch. I think that's the fight to make. But I also see that he lost it. He's still young. Give him
It needs to be
another title
protected.
eliminator. Yeah, honestly, like like you said, he is a star. The mullet is nasty. That like brick face, the tattoos, like he is, and the type of fighter is like great grappler, good at jujitsu, and his strike, like he will strike. He's not gonna. He doesn't want to go to the ground, but dribble there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's also the problem with that title. Like, I feel like this has been repeated hundreds of times, but I'm going to say it again. If Yair gets a shot, regardless of who wins, it just doesn't look good. Like, either Volk wins against Yair Rodriguez again, and it just like, why did we even have this fight? It was just a wasted fight, kind of didn't add anything to Volk's legacy or the featherweight title. Or Yair wins, and it's like, oh, why did we have Volk fight for the title in the first place? Like, why? And I feel like if Yair wins the title, he's not keeping it long either. So it's just going to be like bouncing around all over the place.
Yep. All right, moving on. Next news. I want to talk about Justin Gaethje. Now, I don't know if you guys don't ugh. I don't know if you guys have seen the. Oh, I'm sure Ben has seen it because he said ugh. But Justin Gaethje came out and said he came out and said I deserve a title shot, and if I don't get a title shot, I am gonna retire. Now, I don't. Ben and I have kind of discussed this. I don't know your thoughts on this, Samir, but the whole idea. And then he came out and said that basically Hunter and Dana begged him to fight on UFC 300 against Max when he didn't really want to because he knew it would kind of taint his current run. Um, and now he thinks he deserves it because he's a company man and he beat Fiziev. I don't know how you feel about Samir. I personally don't think he deserves it, but I could see it happening because lightweight is kind of weird right now. You know, Max and Dustin are fighting, and you don't really do. Sorry, I'm just gonna pull rankings just so I can refresh my memory here. But yeah, Max and Dustin are fighting. Arman kind of had that whole was he injured? Did he miss weight? Kind of hold ordeal. So does he deserve the title shot? And then obviously it's Charles Ilya fighting for it right now. And then you guys got like Dan Hooker, Paddy Pimblett, all kind of, even Matthias Gamrot, all kind of waiting in that kind of area. So I kind of want to hear both of your opinions on does Justin Gaethje get the title shot, and does he get it? And A or B, does he deserve it?
No.
No to either.
Open.
It's just,
Like no, we. I'm sorry that it was one and done, but we saw it against Islam. That's why you're not getting a title shot. Like you are an entertaining fighter, but when it comes to a high tactical fight, you just have nothing to show for it, and that's why you haven't been getting these fights. You are getting what you're there for. Like him himself, he can't be saying things like that when his best quotes are, "I'm here to just stand and bang." Like I'm here to just fight. I'm here to make money. Like that's what I'm known for. I win fight of the night.
Showtime.
So if that is what you're about, then that is what you're gonna get. Like you're not a tactical fighter. We saw it in your one title fight. It was like one of the most boring fights I've ever seen. Like he did not look like once. Like it looked like sparring. Like I don't know if he forgets that he also got that chance. Like he got given that chance when he shouldn't have really gotten it. Like he had a run and he was given it, and we saw like he doesn't have the quality to fight for a belt. he's just a BMF man. Like he is a fighter that he has to fight that rotation of fighters. Like the Dan Hookers, the Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway. Just they gotta keep fighting each other. Maybe an odd one, maybe like Benoit Saint Denis here and there. Like that's it. That's it. Really.
He's kind of the ultimate gatekeeper at this point in his career, right? Like you don't really see. I don't really see him doing much more than that.
Yeah, I don't see him really threatening, and it's not really this to him because like after you talk about the company man thing, it really does suck because he's done everything that he can for the UFC, and he'll expect some good treatment back. But unfortunately, that only comes with giving him good fights, but title shots. I mean, they're operating a business, not like a handout. And it just wouldn't make sense from a business perspective to have him in a title fight at all. Because, I mean, if you see him on the same name, let's just say he does get that rematch one day, I'm not watching that. Like, I'll turn it off right as the main starts because it's like, it's not even.
We know this.
Not even like a discussion. And that's what it is. It's like Justin Gaethje is known for being a fighter that can take hits and throw them. Like he just throws them and takes hits. He just has durability, and that's what he's known for. Almost like a crash doll, like a dummy doll. He's just there to provide you entertainment, and he doesn't really care about getting permanent brain damage because he's gonna win fight of the night. He's gonna get that extra 60 G's. So like, that's why I just don't think it's a valid claim. I don't think it should even be something that we consider looking at.
Completely agree. I don't think he deserves it in the slightest. He might get the shot, but he absolutely in no world deserves a shot. Like if you think about his last fights, he beat Rafael Fiziev, might I add, coming off 2 years of inactivity, and wasn't it also short notice as well? Yeah, it was short notice fighting a guy who hasn't fought in 2 years and didn't.
It was supposed to be Gaethje Dan Hooker.
Right. Yes, and it wasn't even like a clear like he won for sure, but it wasn't like a domination like it should have been. And then his fight before that, he got his face painted on the mat by Max Holloway. So immediately, those two fights right there, you do not deserve a title shot at all.
Yeah.
Let alone, we've seen what happens. He fought Khabib, got dominated. He only wins against guys whose fight like him, like a Poirier who just swings. If he fights someone who's technical in the slightest, Charles Oliveira, Islam, Khabib, he's cooked. He's absolutely barbecue chicken. Like,
well, even if Ilya wins the belt against Charles, he's not. There's no chance he beats Ilya.
Exactly what I mean. Because like the super technical guys like a Charles, Islam, Khabib, Ilya, he just went toe to toe with Volk. Volk would dominate Justin Gaethje. Ilya would dominate Justin Gaethje. Like all these guys, Max Holloway beat him very easily. And that guy's not even that like super technical, and he still beat Justin Gaethje. Like anybody will beat Justin Gaethje unless they're like Michael Chandler or Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, without a doubt. One more like bit of news, and then I'm gonna go to some like match makes that like I found interesting that I've seen recently. Alex Pereira's in fight camp. When, why, how? I don't understand this. It doesn't like. There's been no fight announced for him. Maybe something's been signed and Dana's just waiting to announce it. But Pereira's in fight camp. Is it against Magomed? Because I've seen lots of things where it's Yuri versus Magomed's been set. I've seen stuff like that. I've also seen Pereira is getting the automatic rematch, which he should. But now he's in fight camp. Any thoughts on this? Any comments? Any inquiries?
Quick turnaround. He's gonna probably try to fight. I don't think he should rush into it. Like I don't know why I'm getting this flashbacks, but I'm getting Volk flashbacks. Like take your time, man. Just take your time. Let the
Old.
ego, yeah, like let the ego just take a little cool down, see why you lost, and not trying to prove your get back. Because I think that's what he's thinking in his head right now. He's like, yeah, like I gotta show, like I know I'm better than him. We all know like he probably could have won that fight. To be honest, because there wasn't much on show besides hugging for most of the fight. So he definitely has a chance to showcase something. But I think right now it's just about getting back in the bed, like getting back in the ring, getting back in the octagon. And he took a little like sabbatical, you know, like it's not even a sabbatical actually. Like this is how active this fighter is. He's just taking a regular time off, and we're treating it like he's like Yuri or like Aaron Rodgers hiding in a cave doing like something, you know, like he's just chilling. He's finally taking some time off.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is not like really noteworthy. He's just doing what every fighter does. It's just because we're so used to him fighting every 3 months, 2 months. You see him like literally fought yesterday. What the fuck's he doing today?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's just what it is. Really, not too much news. I'd be surprised if he fights really soon because if I was him, I only got like two. What does he have? Like 2, 3 more big money fights. I would optimize them, especially if one of them is John Jones. For him to fight that John Jones prop fight, like that end of career fight coming up in a year, maybe like 8 months or something, or whenever John Jones decides to come out of hiding to do that fight, like he needs to not lose because if he loses back to back, then John Jones is not making that fight because he's like, yeah, this guy's name is not gonna get me like a good legacy fight. So I think he's just gonna take his time, maybe go against like a lower ranking guy, 3-5, maybe Yuri 3 to be honest. Like, don't maybe it's getting old for you guys. It's not getting old for me. Those face offs are cold. Give me a
Mm-hmm.
third matchup, and especially Yuri coming off a win, I believe, against Jamal Hill, or has he fought since?
It's just a
That his
Jamal
last
Hill
fight?
one.
Yeah, so they both beat him. So that's another matchup they can make, and I think Yuri respects him a lot, and Weiss, I think he'll want to get his get back. I think that's a perfect matchup to make. And I know people are saying he deserves the immediate matchup or the rematch, but it's not smart for him. And I think UFC fighters need to be smarter. Doesn't mean they're taking hiatuses, but instead taking someone that is still reputable, brings in money,
Yep.
and will get your stocks back up. And I think fighting Yuri a third time, I mean, I can see him winning it easily. And a lot of UFC fans, normally you'd see a fighter that just can't beat another one, and if they would rematch, you'd be like, bro, I'm not watching this. Like, he's obviously going to lose. But with these two big names and the aura of face-offs and also like the storylines in it with the samurai and like the Amazonian tribe, like it's just really cool story to see, and it's definitely going to be a big cash money opportunity. So I think that's what he should be training for. But him coming back and training early, I don't think it's anything special. It's just him finally becoming human, you know?
I also don't think it's news, but it's not really that big of news because most UFC fighters, especially top level UFC fighters, they're in fighting camp most of the year. Like even when they're not fighting, like just because Alex Pereira is in camp, most fighters start doing camps months before they even have their fights like announced. So it's already mid-June and there's no like all the fights up until like August are already announced. So I don't see him fighting until at earliest late August, maybe September. But like so regardless, he's going to have I think his last fight was what, March, I think? Or February, in that range. So it'll already be like over half a year since he's last fought. So I don't think it's just like he's going to come back like Samir said, it's really unusual for Pereira because he's normally fighting every 2 to 3 months. So this is just like regular, but it just seems so much bigger because, oh my God, he's fighting like a normal person now. But I don't know who he'll fight. I think he could maybe deserve a rematch for the title. Maybe even because there's no fight booked. Do you think maybe he goes up to heavyweight to fight a Tom Aspinall? Maybe. I don't know. But there's many options. He could fight a contender at heavyweight, a champion at heavyweight, a contender at light heavyweight, or a champion at light heavyweight. Like, it could be anything. So I have no idea what he's going to do. I do think he'll want to fight John Jones, whether John Jones retires or not. So I think maybe he even moves up to heavyweight to see if he can go into that division to get a fight against John Jones, personally. But regardless, it doesn't really... He's going to be fighting in like 2 to 3 months anyways.
All right, now we got a little bit of a segment, I guess. We're just gonna go quickly some fights that have been announced recently in the past like week or two. I want to hear a quick. This guy's gonna win, and this is the reason. Quick,
Cool.
let's
Rapid
just bang
fire.
this out, and then we'll wrap up the episode. I'll go last on all of these.
All right.
So we'll start with Ben first. Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. That's just got announced. Joshua Van, quick turnaround. Let's hear it, Ben.
Royval wins because Van fought in the same month, and I think fighting a much more higher level fighter, I think it'll be too much for him. He'll put up a good match, but Royval gets done.
Gotta agree. I mean, even seeing Joshua Van, he has like a lot of wear and tear, and it's a kind of a matchup that's in Royval's favor. So I don't even think it's going to be close, to be honest. It's going to probably be a decision, but still, interesting fight.
Yeah. I mean, it's flyweight. Like Samir said, it's probably going to be a decision. But I like Joshua Van taking this fight. You know, being a bit of a company guy, just getting this, trying to fast track his career. He's still only 24. Even if he loses this, even if it's a decision, like if he survives, he gets boosted. He's going to boost his rankings. He probably goes to like 10. Royval is 1. I like this fight. I like Josh Van. Who doesn't? This kid's awesome. Next we got Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page. We'll start with you, Samir.
I think Cannonier, I personally believe like MVP is kind of overrated, and we kind of saw it in the Ian Gary fight. It's like, if you're making Ian Gary look like a seasoned like veteran, like knowing what he's like little boying you, that's when you know like you're not as good as we thought, because Ian Gary was little boying him, and ever since that fight I haven't been able to look at him the same. It's like, you are not who I thought you were, pal. And Cannonier, he means business. Like we've seen him in his other fights, like he's able to handle fighters like MVP, and MVP's not just as good as we thought, and that's my reasoning.
I agree. I think it'll be Cannonier, probably by decision, because almost every Cannonier fight goes to decision. But I think if MVP faces a UFC level fighter that has any level of grappling, he's gonna lose. Like MVP, I mean, he beat what's his name, Shara Bullet. Shara Bullet has no grappling experience really. So I think if he faces anybody with like an all right level, he's gonna lose. Cannonier has that. Cannonier wins.
Hey, I'm gonna throw the curveball. I'm gonna say MVP. You guys both pick Cannonier. I respect both of your decisions. Honestly, valid points. But I like MVP's chances. I mean, he's moving up to middleweight. Maybe puts on extra pounds. Maybe that helps him in a little bit. And it's a whole new contender list. I mean, if he wins this, it kind of moves him up high in the middleweight rankings. I think his length and technical striking ability kind of proves some challenges for Cannonier. But I could also see the grappling aspect being a huge problem. Next, I know Samir loves this fighter. Peyton Talbot gets a fight versus Jungle Boy Lima. I'll let Ben start this one off because I know Samir's already fuming. But
I forgot. I knew I heard Peyton Talbot had a fight matched up. I forgot it was against Lima. I don't know if he even deserves this fight, to be honest, because he lost around in Barcelos. But regardless, I think it'll be a nice little bounce back. I think Frank Ocean's boyfriend gets the W.
Samir, let's hear it.
Not even a question, man. Like, not even a question. Peyton Talbot's bouncing back. Like, Frank Ocean, motivation. Those edits are gonna come back. Maybe Imogen Heap this time. Get me a little excited. I'm just excited. To be honest, when it comes to ball knowledge with Peyton Talbot, I'm all about UFC edits. Kill me all you want. My UFC edit GOAT is gonna win the fight, and I'm gonna be feasting watching my TikTok that night. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm jumping on the hype train. I think Peyton Talbot gets the rebound. I mean, like you said, Ben, does he really deserve a Lima? Probably not. But I like this kid. I think he's fun. I think he's exciting. I love the tattoo, the black hole. I
The
think that's
bleach.
so much aura. Yeah, and I think, hey, if he wins and we get a Frank Ocean sighting again, I mean, I might lose. I might
Drop
honestly
the
lose
album!
it.
Drop the album, please! Drop.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of all the matchups that have been announced in the past like week or two. I mean, we obviously could talk about like Bryce Mitchell,
You forgot
changing weight classes. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Ben. I maybe have missed one.
Marc-Andre Barrios versus Shara Bullet Magomedov.
Absolute cinema, absolute cinema.
Who are we
That
thinking?
one though,
Who are we thinking?
I'm sorry, I'm sorry to go against my culture, my Canadian goat right there, Steve Nash, but. I'm taking Shara. I think this is a rebound for Shara. I mean, he looked he looked not so good in his last matchup, but I think Shara is a contender. I think he's still young enough to get in those rankings. I really think he gets this done. I think no offense to Marc-Andre Barrios, I think he kind of got a little bit, but overall, I think Shara takes this one.
Samir?
I think it's an easy Shara fight. Like, the most obvious, just handout. It's gonna be easy. I think maybe I'd take the under 1.5 rounds, to be honest. If there's any betters watching this, under the 1.5, quick and easy.
I cannot believe this travesty here. Did you got Marc-Andre Barrios just caved a guy's skull in? What are we talking about? And Shara Bullet, he's half blind and he's fighting a guy who caves guys' skulls in, and we're saying he's gonna win?
Well, those are the types of fighters that he does the best against. If I'm being honest, like, that's anyone who takes him to the ground, he's probably not gonna win. So this is the most likely. Like, Shara's gonna be in there, gonna probably win. Like, it's gonna be a really good fight. Because
I'm
one of them
gonna
is
be a
walking out
banger.
of there.
I'm picking the boy Marc-Andre personally, but that's just me.
You slanderous Steve Nash is disappointed in you. Shout out.
I picked the Canadian, unlike you.
Yeah, but even Steve Nash would know that Shar is going to win this fight. It's no diss. No diss. Sorry, Marc-Andre Barrios. We would love to have you on the podcast to talk about your fight.
I would love you on the podcast.
But that's going to wrap up the very inaugural, I guess you could say, episode of Decision Time. We got our June 28th, or not June 28th, June 22nd. June 28th is a fight night. We'll get to that. We'll get to that eventually. June 22nd. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, we're gonna all be together to watch it, so that's gonna be a banger of a card, no matter what. I'm excited. You should be excited. But thank you for tuning in. I mean, listening on Spotify, watching clips on Instagram and TikTok, or watching us on
wherever
YouTube.
you are.
We really appreciate it. Wherever you are, shout out. We really appreciate you guys watching and listening to us talk about guys who literally beat the crap out of each other for their living. Thank you for. Am I pointing the right way, Ben? Thank you, Ben, for being here. Taking time out of his night. Thank you, Samir, for being here as always. Yeah, we will be back, obviously, to talk about more stuff next week. But thank you, and you'll probably be seeing this on Wednesday, so hope you have a wonderful Wednesday, as my elementary school would say. Um, Thank you so much for watching. We have been the
That was
hearts.
sick. That was sick.
we have been Decision Time. Thank you for watching. See you later, guys.
Peace.
Peace.